G'day guys, you're watching The Long Gun Project. G'day guys, my name is Ben and you're watching episode 6 of The Long Gun Project. Now this episode is an ELR episode mainly, and we'll dive right into the latest with the Cheytac very soon. But what I wanted to do first was give you a bit of a recap of the last PRS round, which was the Ignition Custom Winter Classic at Buchan. Now Buchan is a great little range, and our match director Jake Simmons did a great course at 5 for the weekend. There seemed to be a strong focus on fundamentals, but plenty of variety in there as well. Now, probably the most interesting stage for me for the weekend was the one where I had an equipment failure. I was deploying the legs of my tripod and I literally ripped the leg clean off.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Now, clearly this was not part of my plan for the stage. And in spite of Rusty urging me to just pick up my rifle and shoot, my mind just went blank. And I stood there for a good couple of seconds, and then when I kind of figured out what had happened, I realised I was almost out of time.
Good news is I got it all.
So, lesson. Make sure your gear isn't broken or likely to break. Turns out I'm in the market for a new tripod. So, results. Taking out the win was Ash Porner, followed by Matthew Butterfield in second and Jared Trigger in third. So great shooting guys, and congratulations on a great result for your weekend. Now I came in 10th position in Open Division, which I'm fairly satisfied with, but I slipped a couple of spots from the previous day. So I guess I just need to do a bit more practice and try and be a bit more consistent. Now into the ELR side of things and the 375 Cheytac. Now you'll remember me talking a bit in the past about trying to refine the load to get more consistent accuracy out of the rifle. It turns out that the load was not the cause of the inconsistent accuracy that I was experiencing. You see, I made an assumption very early on that the Cheytac would probably behave the way all my long range rifles did. All my other rifles shoot best fouled. So if you cleaned them, they wouldn't want to shoot for the first 10 or 15 rounds, and then after that, they would be dynamite. So I left the Cheytac fouled. So with all the trouble I'd been having with the load being inconsistent in terms of accuracy, I called Russell at Group Solutions Gunsmithing in the ACT, who built the rifle, and he suggested I clean it and then go back out and test it again. If it didn't want to shoot after being cleaned, then put a proven scope on it and test it one more time. But I cleaned it and I took it out and I tested it. Well, me. This rifle immediately shot under half a minute of angle at 300 meters. Now I've wasted a fair bit of time and money up until that point. So every time I did this, what I was really doing was this. Pew, 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 pew. Thank you, Russell, for solving this mystery and reminding me that all rifles are in fact different. Now, I could have just not told you all of that and cut together a really cool clip and pretended it was all good, but I kind of feel like it's important to be honest about this kind of stuff, because things that we take for granted, like assumptions or simple pieces of equipment, can cause us real headaches and trip us up. And if what I've experienced can save you a couple of $100 or a weekend or stop you from going bald, then it'll be worth it. But now that I understand this rifle better, I'm actually in a position to do what I've been wanting to do with it for a very long time, and that is shoot it further. And that is exactly what I got to do this past weekend. G'day again guys, and we are back at our usual shooting spot now this morning. It is forecast to be cool, and it is right now, but there's not a cloud in the sky as you can see. So that means it is going to get very warm very fast. Now I've got to try and work quick to be able to get our shots done before the ground gets too warm. And when it gets really warm here, because I'm so low to the ground all the time, we end up with a lot of heat haze and a lot of shimmer, which makes the targets move visually, and once that starts to happen, we're really out of luck. So that's the plan. Get in quick, get some rounds down range, get clear vision of our targets. Today we're shooting at 1292, 1483 and 1704 metres, so 1.7 k's. So that's the usable range I've got at the moment until I can find a better firing point to sort of stretch beyond that. But it should be okay. We've got the elevation in the turret to be able to do all of that. So I'm going to get started hooking quick, and yeah, we'll get some rounds down range and hopefully we'll be on target. The load I'm using is a 350 grain laser cutting edge bullet in Peterson brass, pushed by 141.5 grains of AR 2218, ignited by a federal gold medal large magnum rifle primer. The velocity is 3068 feet per second. Right, so 1704 metres, and I'd say we had some success. So of the 7 rounds that I had available to fire at this target, I had 3 impacts. So it's less than 50% technically, but I'm going to take it. Some of the rounds I thought were landing a little high, then a little low, but I'll go back and look at the drone footage. I think where I was seeing the dust made it look like it was hitting high, but I suspect most of them were actually hitting low based on where I can see the impacts on the ground. So that'll be interesting to have a look at. Whilst we're out here, Jock and Alex came out and were spotting for me, which was really handy, and Jock had his 308 and decided to have a go at the 1292 metre target, and he was successful at getting onto that. So that was the furthest I'd seen a 308 ever shot. So that was pretty cool to watch actually. He was maxed out his turrets, he was holding over, he dialed for wind because he needed the target as a reference point because he was holding well off the target, and yeah, he was dancing around the plate for a while and then finally got on, and yeah, that was really cool. Oh yeah, hey. Yeah, so well done, Jock. Yeah, we'll be doing another episode a little later on. Jock and I will be replicating a particular shot, historical shot. So yeah, that'll be a good intro to that, I think. Overall, really great morning. Really happy with the outcome. Yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. So with rounds on target at 1704 metres, I'm pretty happy. I think the rifle's holding its accuracy well, as these rounds are actually well and truly into the transonic region by this point. Subsonic actually starts at 1850 metres, so overall I'm pretty happy. Now the next step for the Cheytac, after I clean it, is to find a spot to stretch it further. Now I'm confident I've got enough internal elevation left in the scope to be able to get close to 2000 metres. You see, it's not really an issue of having enough room to shoot, it's about having enough difference in geographical elevation to be able to directly observe the target. You see, out here in Western New South Wales, it's so flat that if I go prone, the curvature of the earth obscures my target. So what I've got to do, if I want to shoot 2 kilometres, is find an area where the firing point is high enough to allow me to directly see the target. So the next stage of shooting the Cheytac I think is actually going to be pretty interesting. Well guys, this concludes the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. If you did, let me know and hit like and subscribe. Also, you can find us on Instagram now under The Long Gun Project. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the next episode of The Long Gun Project. See you later.